Sales to me is the ultimate level playing field. I didn't grow up with a lot of money, didn't have Ivy League connections, and didn't grow up with powerful relationships with people who were high up in companies. But it was like sales is this thing that goes like, I don't care if you got your degree from Harvard or if you dropped out of school. Can you knock on a door? Can you overcome rejection? Can you build a relationship? Can you add trust? Can you add value? Can you follow up? Can you stay in touch? Do you have a good product? It's like, I don't care about your pedigree. I don't care about your, connections. It's like, it's really you as a person.
It's the whole concept of your reputation precedes you. And in this case, it better. Hey, y'all. Welcome to this episode of the Wealthy and Well-Known podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about an interesting topic, something to do with micro entrepreneurs, what a lot of people would maybe refer to as direct sales or, a side hustle. But I think it's a really important thing to start this conversation with what is direct sales, because it's really different than affiliate marketing and it's really different from the old school MLM model. But this is what we would call in today's market the micro entrepreneur or the micro influencer. And so that's where we want to start today is how does personal branding help you in direct sales as a micro influencer, a micro entrepreneur, and specifically, what is direct sales so we know exactly who we're talking to.
Mm-hmm. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. For those of you that don't know my story, I was raised in direct sales. My single mama sold Mary Kay Cosmetics when I was a kid. And so I grew up going to those meetings. And then when I was in college, I went door to door for 5 years, 5 summers, and was in a network marketing company, was a recruiter, a top salesperson, and have sort of just grown up around the industry. And this is...
I want to pause really quickly because you weren't just a recruiter. You were the all-time 150-year record holder of recruiting. Recruited the largest teams of a direct sales marketing company.
Thank you, babe. You're making me blush, honey.
Well, I think it's a big deal. Like they actually had you as a college student travel around the country teaching other student managers how to build organizations like you did. Like 150 years is a long time. To be the all-time record holder for recruiting is no small feat. So let's not skim over that like you don't have experience in the space.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it's near and dear to my heart. And I think in many ways, I think of direct sales as true sales, real sales, where you are prospecting human to human and like building relationships.
It's interesting though, but is direct sales still happening that way today?
No, less of it. I mean, I think that's what we're going to talk about is how's it different? And I think that's an interesting topic even to start is what's the difference between direct sales, affiliate marketing, network marketing, personal branding. There's a sort of a weird amalgamation of all of these things coming together.
And we're seeing a lot of direct sales companies transition into more of affiliate marketing organizations. There's been a lot of disruption in the industry the last few years as a lot of traditional direct sales companies are no longer a direct sales model and have moved to more affiliate marketing.
Affiliate model, yeah. I was just speaking at an event for Direct Selling News, Direct Selling University, and they were sharing a lot of the data of what's going on in the industry. There has been a lot of consolidation in the industry. Part of what they were saying is like the headlines are dominated by some of those, but in many ways the industry still is what it has always been. But they were showing how, some of the companies, I'd say, most famously like Rodan and Fields, Beachbody, which is now just Body, they have kind of adapted or adopted to an affiliate marketing model and I think the difference here for people who are just listening is going, okay, direct sales is anything where you have a salesperson selling a product direct to consumers. It's like the individual person is conducting that transaction. I think network marketing is where I get paid on the sales of people that are in as part of my organization. And then affiliate marketing is more like digital marketing where I'm just sharing a link. And so some of these companies moved from like a true network marketing model to more of an affiliate marketing model where they're just selling links, but they don't have the downlines of
Yeah, the
like
multi-level.
the multi-level part of it. And
I think it'd be worthwhile to talk about like why this shift, why the trend to affiliate marketing for some of these larger organizations, and what does that mean across the board compared to some of the other information and other research that we've learned from other thought leaders in this space of how you can barely make a living on affiliate marketing today. It's like you have to have such a big following and still so very few people see it that it's like what used to you would get paid thousands or even $100 for a post, you're now getting pennies on the dollars. So there's been also conversation that would go, why would they transition to this if this is what's really happening in the space? So I think there's the dichotomy of why are people moving to this when you hear this counter argument of it's almost impossible for a normal individual to make any money in that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly why they do it, right? Every company is different and everybody who, buys and investors, they do this sort of thing. But I think the general thought process is as a company, we will become more profitable if we don't have so many layers of payouts like we've had in network marketing. So I don't I don't think their goal is to help people make more money, and that's just kind of evidenced by the fact that some of these companies basically like let their entire field force kind of go overnight effectively, or they transitioned, very quickly to a model to where it's like, hey, we'll still pay you to sell our product, but we're not going to pay you on the downline of everyone you've recruited and built in. And I think, there's some pain around that. There's controversy around it. As somebody who owns a business, there's an argument to go like, well, if it's more profitable and maybe there's reasons that we do that. But I think there's also influencer marketing, which is part of this conversation, which I think is really what you're talking about too, is going affiliate marketing is I give a link and I get paid a percentage of those sales or a flat fee per sale. Influencer marketing is more like, okay, I get paid from the platforms per 1,000 views, or brands show up and they pay me. And now that everybody is a creator, I think the supply has gone through the roof and the demand isn't necessarily gone with it, because I don't know that brands are always seeing directly attributable results to just like brand
Mm-hmm.
deal marketing. So there's a lot of it. There's still people being successful in affiliate marketing, network marketing, direct sales, influencer marketing, but it begs the conversation of what is happening here, and what's the right mix for me as an individual and for us as an organization. I mean, I'd be curious how some of those things and topics have shaped your philosophy about what we do at Brand Builders
Mm-hmm.
Group in terms of the type of marketing and payouts that we provide, because I think we're kind of pioneering and innovating in some ways in that regard. So like, how do you process all of this going on as a CEO in terms of what we can be doing to drive leads?
Yeah, and I think that's not just pertinent to Brand Builders Group, but for any business who's going, okay, and I think you could even throw in the emergence of AI and technology into all of this of going, wow, like, do I really need all these people anymore? Right. And I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of the thing that's happening with some of the dissolution of these direct sales models at the multi level impact to an affiliate, where it's like, yeah, you brought these hundreds or thousand, for some people, thousands of people, organizations, and now all that work you did is now ours. And I'll pay you direct, but not for any of the work in recruiting or leading or training or building. And not to cast shade anywhere, because I don't know the inner workings of any of these companies, but I do find that that's a profit first approach, not a people first approach. And those get to be harder and bigger conversations the bigger that you get. But those are real lives with years of history helping those organizations build. And for that to just go away, it's a hard pill to swallow. I think, speaking as a business owner, of going, our philosophy around AI, which we recorded an episode here lately on this, is Like, we're not trying to have AI replace any position, but we would love it if we didn't have to keep adding positions. But we're not in a replacement mode. Like, this is not like, hey, we're going to bring in, all these new things that we don't have to have as many people anymore, and we'll be more profitable. It's like, why can't it be both? Like, why can't we, serve our team and also make more profit, right? Doesn't Can it be both? Does it not need to be both? And I think that's where I kind of get stuck in the middle of more people, more problems, right? And that's more clients or more team members, more problems. But that's also a decided choice of going like, no, it's like, yeah, like we're humans. There's the potential for greater success or greater failure the bigger you get. And I think removing the human elements, in my opinion, is always a little dangerous. And so I think for me, it's a people conversation dilemma where, we've seen all over the news with big corporations doing massive 1,000-person layoffs with AI. You see a lot of these, companies that are removing all these layers of leadership with all the work that's been done over decades and replacing it with links. And I think, yes, do I see why they're doing it on the one hand? Sure. Do I know their financials? No. And yeah, those are real human lives and real human costs that sometimes get left out of the equations. And I think that's the hard part of all of this. And I just think there's an opportunity to go, how do we do both?
Yeah, and I think that part of that has all been a catalyst to, particularly, I think, the direct sales industry going, okay, personal branding matters a lot because people, I think there's a few macro sort of economic trends happening. One is, in general, power is shifting from corporate brands and corporate media conglomerates to individual people, right? We're not loyal to the company, we're loyal to a person. We don't trust the company, we trust the person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that has happened. The other thing is, so just as a marketing channel, personal branding is really important to everybody, every type of business and every business model. But I also think, particularly in this sort of direct sales industry, that for the people who spent decades of their life building a field force that was something that they treated like their own business, but on paper was never actually their own business, is owned by an organization, I think certainly there is the backlash of feeling burnt and like, I poured my whole heart and soul into this, and now you just take it away from me. I think that also becomes a catalyst for people to build their personal brand to go,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm going to build my own audience. I'm going to own my own audience. I'm going to have my own database. I'm going to be in control of like my own business. Even if I'm selling someone else's product, it's like the customers stay with me because I'm the person building it. So
Yeah, the trust lies with
the
the
trust
person.
lies with me, and
Mm-hmm.
now the technology exists for me to manage that versus turn all those
Mm-hmm.
customers over to somebody else. So I think, it's a weird relationship that and a lot of dynamics, like you throw AI in there, that are going on. But I think for everybody to go, whether you're a business, you're a big business, you're a small business, you're a creator, you're an affiliate marketer, you go, all of us are building our own audience,
Mm-hmm.
and we're building trust, and the trust must always take place before there's a transaction. And now the power lies in the individuals, and the technology and the tools are available to bring for you to own your own audience. And that is something that I think everybody should want to do and pay attention to, because whether your company changes its model or you own your business and your business goes out of business or you get replaced by a competitor, the fact that you own your audience is really important,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take your audience with you. So I think that's what makes this conversation interesting and super relevant for direct sales, and really for anybody who's in any type of marketing or sales.
So I have a question for you about that, because I think there's been, probably a 15-year shift. You take it back 15 years ago and you look at the direct sales space, and I can think about, like, on a monthly basis what type of home party I was getting invited to.
mhm.
It was a Pampered Chef party. It was a Rodan and Fields party.
The wine, there was wine tastings. There's been
Yeah,
all sorts of party planning. Tupperware was back in the day.
there was
Mary Kay.
the
Those.
Wild Tree. There was the food company. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was like all the time. And over the course of the last 15 years, they got completely away from that altogether.
Mhm.
And It kind of went all digital, all online. But now
COVID accelerated that.
COVID accelerated that for sure. But now, even with some of the most explosive growth, what I would say, you know, direct sales companies or affiliate marketing companies, I think about like the faster way to weight loss. I think about even some of the nonprofits, like they're finding ways of doing in-person events again. Like I was just thinking about faster way to weight loss because I'm on their text blast, I guess, from years ago. And it's like coming to Nashville for National Legs Day, hosting something at, you know, Opryland. And it's like now, like there's some of that kind of coming back in a mass community appeal. And what I would just like to hear your opinion on, like, why did we get away from all of that? And have you heard about some of that reemerging? I was thinking about another company that we had on the podcast a couple of years ago, Hugh and Grace. And they were, you know, it's a hormone-free, you know, cleaning line and supplements and vitamins. But they were like, no, we want to reimagine what it's like to have a home party. And it's more of an event and it's an experience. It's something that you want to go to, not to get sold, but for learning and education and networking. And they were really trying to reimagine what it was like to host the old school, you know, home parties. And then I hear about like all these other events that are happening of like, hey, everyone come in for National Leg Day. And, you know, you even hear about like charities like Charity Water doing the immersive experiences. It's like, hey, the online thing just isn't working anymore. There's too much noise. There's too much clutter. I got to get people in real life, immersive experiences, experiencing what we do again. So have you seen that that's coming back?
I feel like that. I feel like COVID accelerated us towards a digital environment. And ironically, I feel like AI is accelerating us back towards an analog environment because you go, if AI can do all the stuff, then what do we do? What matters? Community, relationships, emotions. And that lends itself to in-person experiences. And I think, you know, if even at Brand Builders Group, we have wrestled and that pendulum has swung back and forth about how much in-person do we do versus how much virtual, and also how much live do we do versus how much pre-recorded. And we've skewed heavily into both live, even virtual stuff is like our members, it's live. I mean, how many live virtual events do we have like in our entry-level program? It's like more than one a month, isn't it?
In our entry-level program, there's 7 virtual training calls you can attend, and then one
every month.
And
those are hours, so 7 1-hour live
plus a full day live virtual event.
A full day, at least one a month.
Every month.
Every single month.
Yep.
And then our in-person events, 16 a year.
We have 16 in-person events and an additional 24 live interactive workshops for our pro members.
Yes.
We do a lot of events.
A lot of events.
Turns out.
So, and I think you go, I mean, if I apply all this lens of what's happening to us, I think you go, the future is not about selling information. And when we put this in the book, right, people don't pay for information, they pay for organization and application. I think that continues to be true. But I also think the next evolution of that is like people pay for application and they also pay for community. They pay to be, I want to find my people. I want to have in-person experiences. I want to be in an environment where I feel supported and cheered on. And I think, you know, we're leaning so heavily into helping people get on each other's podcasts and helping them share speaking opportunities and doing client referrals, because it's like, that's the part that AI can't replace, the relationships. So, you know, if we were building a direct sales company, I would be leaning heavily into that. You know, anecdotally, I think some are doing that. Some of the other ones are moving away towards just like more towards the affiliate thing. Now, when I saw Stuart Johnson did a presentation, so he's the owner of Direct Selling News, and he had this very, very data rich presentation on what's happening in the world of direct selling. He was showing the data behind some of those companies that switched to affiliate marketing and direct sales. And while they maybe have become more profitable, nobody knows always, many of them are privately held, their revenue has gone down tremendously. And part of that makes sense. You know, you let all these people go and they all go run off and they go to a different direct sales company or whatever. But, you know, there you lose that bond, you lose that camaraderie. And I think direct sales, what has made direct sales, again, going all the way back to my mom, it was like,
community.
It was community. It was being around women who made her feel beautiful, and she could help them feel beautiful and supported and important. And it was like part of why I have such a passion for direct selling is because the product isn't the product, the industry is the
It has to
product.
say it's the common experience of all of that.
And it's personal development. I mean, direct sales is basically a way to monetize personal development. And so
It's learning goal setting and
time
selling
management,
and time management, productivity.
and you go, and the other reason I've always loved direct sales is, and sales in general, is sales to me is the ultimate level playing field. And I didn't grow up with a lot of money, didn't have Ivy League connections, and didn't grow up with powerful relationships with people who were high up in companies. But it was like sales is this thing that goes like, I don't care if you got your degree from Harvard or if you dropped out of school. Can you knock on a door? Can you overcome rejection? Can you build a relationship? Can you add trust? Can you add value? Can you follow up? Can you stay in touch? Do you have a good product? It's like, I don't care about your pedigree. I don't care about your, connections. It's like, it's really you as a person. And I've always loved that. And, I told this to that audience when I was speaking a few weeks ago. I said, when you and I started, we really were like building a speaking career, and we were building a coaching company, consulting company, speaking. We learned personal branding for ourselves, being speakers, authors, coaches, consultants. I never would have thought when we were learning all of that 20 years ago that you would fast forward to now and you go, no, personal branding is not just for experts. It's for all professional service providers. It's for anyone with any type of field sales force, and especially direct sales and network marketing.
It's the whole concept of your reputation precedes you. And in this case, it better, right? It's like you need to be the person that's like, oh, let me introduce you to, right? And I think that is a really important thing for sales in general, right? You want to be the first person that someone thinks of when they think of what you sell, because that's how you get referrals. That's how you get word of mouth customers. That's the difference of being a megaphone versus a magnet, right? Are you just out there hustle, hustle, hustle? Or are you actually attracting people into you because you have built a strong community, you deliver good service, you have a good product, you stay in touch with people, you have community, right? And that is a lot of how you build that, regardless of what kind of sales you're in. That's just sales.
But it's like in direct sales, the money they pay to the field force historically, the network marketing, right? All these organizational downlines is money they didn't spend on corporate advertising and marketing. So direct sales has always been like the purest, truest form of like, if you're buying because of me. My reputation, your trust with me,
my effort, my outreach.
Yes, you're not buying because it's like, oh, I've seen that product on the Super Bowl commercial or the ads. And so, it will be interesting to see the direct sales companies that are shifting away from the field force. Are they pouring more into advertising? Now, I think it's, companies like Beachbody and Rodan and Fields in particular, they had done a great job of that. Rodan and Fields had already had a very established brand. Body, which was previously Beachbody, had the whole P90X movement and all that kind of stuff. So they had a lot of brand equity that was outside their field force. But for anybody listening, the thing that I think applies to all of us is, how do I own my own audience? How do I build trust? And then what type of transactions am I creating? Am I going to sell my own products and services? And this goes to the paids that we teach in the book, in the monetization strategy chapter, which is your chapter.
Yeah.
Why don't you do a quick review of the paids?
Paids are products, right? Those are tangible things that you can touch, hold, right? Those are your widgets. Those are your items. Then you've got ads and affiliates, right? You got to have a big enough platform, a big enough audience where someone is paying you money to get access and exposure to your audience. Then you have information, right? So I would say information be courses, that could be ebooks. It's anything
membership
in the
sites,
information.
certifications, assessments, all that kind of stuff.
Totally. Then you have deals. right? So that could be book deals, that could be sponsorship deals, that could be different brand deals, but you're getting paid because, again, your platform, your audience, your notoriety, you already have an established personal brand. That doesn't technically happen if you don't have something already established. And then you've got services, which is the most common, the most popular, and the most pervasive of all of them, which is anything that's in the service business. We would fit in services, all professional services, anything that you can think of, from attorneys to doctors to financial services to insurance to real estate to mortgage to coaching, consulting. Those are all services. So that's a quick recap of PAIDs.
And I think in direct sales, you used to say, okay, even before social media, if we said a personal brand is a reputation, okay, it was very clear. My mom worked for Mary Kay. She sold a physical product,
Yeah.
right? She was in that P
All direct
category.
sales almost are all physical products.
Almost entirely.
Almost.
And a lot of them are in the health and beauty space, supplements.
Avatar woman.
Yeah. Yes. And when what the shift that has happened is you're going, oh, well, now they're moving more into affiliates, where they're going, okay, I'm just giving out affiliate links, which shifts the model to where you go, all right, if I am, like if my mom were selling this today, if all she has is links, she actually, the company is less loyal to her, and she also is less loyal to the company.
Because she could have links for lots of
Beauty
companies.
Counter, and she could have links. She could be selling Rodan and Fields and Mary Kay. Now, some of the direct sales companies
disallow that. Most disallow that.
But there's this woman that spoke at the conference. Her name was Heather. I wish I could remember her last name. I think maybe Frazier. But she said, in direct sales, brand loyalty is still alive, but brand monogamy is dead. And so what she was, the point that she was making, which I thought was really good, was she was like, hey, if you're not all in on them, they're not going to be all in on you, and don't expect them to be, because if it's an affiliate model, they can also affiliate for Brand Builders Group. They can affiliate for some other nutrition line. You could affiliate for blankets and whatever. Like, and that's also the shift that's happened. Was I was the Mary Kay lady, and now I'm a lifestyle influencer.
But that's a problem, for everything, and pretty much against everything that we teach and believe in when it comes down to how do you break through she-hands wall.
Exactly.
Which is, you become known for one thing. You don't want to be a jack of all trades. You want to be a jack of one trade. And that's a problem.
So that
dilution.
Yes, and that's what I said on stage. I said the problem here is you got an industry and a whole culture that's moving towards telling people like, hey, have multiple streams of income, have a bunch of these affiliate links, but you and I know, and the data is super strong, that the way you get rich is not from multiple streams of income, from one amazing stream of income. You do one thing really well. And so I do see that as a problem.
Let's take this out of the direct sales space for a second. I just want everyone to think about this. Like, what if you were talking to your financial advisor and all of a sudden he was like, hey, just so you know, I've started selling cars. Would you want to go to the lot and see some cars?
Such a good example.
Or what if he was like, you know what? I've started a healthcare line. Really love to show you my supplements. I'd be like, what are you doing? Now I don't want to learn about your cars and supplements. I thought we were talking about my finances.
Yeah.
Just like imagine in real life.
If your doctor was suddenly like, teaching softball lessons all the time on the side. Like
what?
What? Professionals, to be a professional, you study a craft.
An expert in one thing. You need to be known for one thing. Well, that's a really big potential issue. So I have one quick question as we wrap into the next segment. If you were starting brand new, fresh in this space of direct sales, what's one thing that you would do today to build brand notoriety, to build this community? Like, what would you do today if you were not at Brand Builders Group and you're like, I'm going to start over in direct sales? What would be the first thing that you would do today?
So it's a philosophical thing. Instead of trying to figure out how I could pay the least amount of money to people to sell my thing, I would figure out, how do I pay people the most amount of money with the least amount of effort, which is exactly what we do at Brand Builders Group. Those of you that are watching or listening, you may not know this, but we have a referral partner program where we pay a 10% lifetime referral fee. And we pay the referral fee to whoever is the first person that refers someone to us. And it's very transparent across the board. And it's whoever is the first person that sends us the lead to somebody, We pay them, and we pay them forever on any of our core strategy services that someone buys. And people have said, why do you do that? Why don't you pay the last person who made the sale? And it's like, no, we're rewarding the person who is out there talking about us first. And they go, why do you pay forever? And I say, well, one, because we don't have high margins, so we can't pay huge affiliate fees all up front. And it's like, I want to send Lewis Howes checks every month, and Ed Milet and Amy Porterfield and our top affiliates, Jenna Kutcher, and these people who have supported us. I want them to make more money. Why? Because I want them to think about us and go, they're going to redirect traffic. Now, affiliate in our own model is a primary revenue stream. It's the A in paid. So if you said, oh, I am just going to drive affiliate traffic, that in some ways is one thing. But you go, I'm not going to be spending my time creating products and launching services and managing and building teams to do all these things.
Yeah.
I'm a media company that builds audience, and I sell ads and affiliates. And that's part of what Lewis got really clear on. And it's like, I want them to so I think we've done that really well. And I think it's now people are it's working, and people are seeing the evidence of Brand Builders Group growing because so many people are talking about us, and then more people hear about us, and then they all make money referring us to people. And so in a weird way, I think Brand Builders Group has become a modern day network marketing through our referral partner program. But we have created that massive passive mailbox money. So anyways, that's how we do things. Any of our clients can be a referral partner. And by the way, we will pay you to give our audiobook away for free. Look at how we did our book launch.
Yeah.
We did this. We said, you can go to, I think it's brandbuildersgroup.com/referral-partner, and you can request your own affiliate link to give our audiobook away in full for free to your audience. And then what happens is we tag all those people in our system as coming from you. And if they ever request a call from our team, we do all the selling, all the follow-up, deal with all the cash collection. We do everything. All you have to do is give away our book, and we send you money, massive passive mailbox money forever. So I think we've done that. And I think, you're asking me the question, what I would do. I would do exactly what we have done all over again, which is more of a philosophy, is going, how can I pay people the most amount of money with the least amount of effort from them as possible? We wrote the book, we created the assets, we did everything.
You just got to share it.
You just got to share it. And if you're going to move into that model, I think it's that. But coming back to what you said earlier, the problem is people are making a profit first decision instead of a people first decision. And, who's to say what is right? But I think you and I are aligned on like the people first, and we believe the profit shows up as a byproduct.
100%. Now we're going to do what we call community questions. This is where a question from our community gets voted up, and we answer the top question from our Brand Builders Group community.
Today's question is, how do you manage relationships at scale, but meanwhile making every single person feel valued and important? And this is the perfect question for you because you do this as good as anybody in the world. You manage so many relationships, and you have a knack for making people still feel important and valued and special and showing up. And we were just talking about this weekend. So I personally would love to hear your philosophy on this.
Yeah. I think a lot of people talk about the techniques and tactics and tips and schedules and, different programs you can buy of how to stay in touch and do this many things at this frequency. And yes, can you do all of that? Have I done a lot of that? Sure. But what I have come to find as a parent, and I think this is where I've learned this most, is that quality is better than quantity. And what I have found is that a few genuine outreaches, a few genuine conversations, a few really personal touches make up for months of no connection at all. And I think what I have found of what people do for me and what I do for people is, can you and will you be present in life's greatest moments and in life's hardest moments? And that's how you do it at scale. I think that I'm a very big, firm believer. Jenny Allen talks a lot about this in her book, Find Your People, that it's almost impossible to have deep, intimate relationships with more than a few people. because of the amount of time that it takes, and you just don't have it. She talks a lot about, I love this book. If you're an adult trying to figure out how to make friends as an adult, I highly recommend this book, Find Your People by Jenny Allen.
And all Jenny Allen books. You
I
love
I'm
Jenny.
her avatar. That's true. But I love what she talks about is, the concept of proximity is power is true for deep, meaningful, intimate relationships. And that's not meant to be done at scale. It's really not. And she goes, if you're not randomly running into someone at church, at school, at the grocery store, you cannot do life together. And that's true. But that doesn't mean that you can't love people, serve people, and be there for people. But as the volume grows in your relationships and in your community, how do you keep that authentic connection alive at scale? What I have found for me, what people do for me and what I do for people is that you show up to celebrate the mountaintop moments, and you are most certainly there for the valley moments. And that makes up for months or years of little to no connection at all, because it's not surface level. It's there to celebrate the things that happen once in a lifetime. It's babies, it's weddings, it's book launches, it's product launches, it's sales of businesses, it's graduations, it's life's biggest moments that everyone was like, thank you for being there. And it's also life's hardest moments, when there was a death or a sickness or an illness or a disaster or a business failing or, a mental health challenge, of also showing up in those moments of like, they're like, and you were there too. And I have found that being there for life's biggest and hardest moments is how you stay connected at scale. It's not in the everyday, hey, just, it's been 6 months, wanted to see how you were doing. It's no, like you show up for the things that count. You show up in the valleys and you show up on the mountaintops.
I'm not the best to answer this question. I don't think I do a particularly great job at it, but I do watch you do it. And as you're talking, there's like a little framework coming to head for me of going, you celebrate, you commiserate, and the other thing I think you do is you commemorate. I remember when I very first launched like Take the Stairs, you got me like pen that said Take the Stairs. And it
technically, I got you pens, notepads,
notepads,
coffee mugs, magnet stickers.
And it's part of celebrating, but it's like celebrating is more of like life's biggest moments.
Yeah.
Commemorating is like acknowledging more of like the special things people are into. I remember the first gift you ever got me before we were dating was a yoga mat. You were commemorating that I had just started going to yoga. And I was like, that is such a thoughtful gift. Not expensive, not the nicest gift I ever got, but one of the most thoughtful. Yeah. And I think that's what commemorating about, is being thoughtful and strategic, almost anticipating what do people need or what's big in their world right now. And you are the best gift giver. And I think that's it. And I've watched you show up for people in the good times, definitely in the hard times. You are the friend to have in a crisis.
Yeah, I say this all the time. I'm not a great casual friend. If you're looking for the girlfriend to go chit chat or, go to the movies with, I'm probably not your friend. Like, that's not who you call for that. But I'm the best friend in the world for someone who's going through a crisis. Yeah. I'm not good at that. And maybe that's why I stay in touch at scale that way, is I'm not your chit chat girlfriend. If you want to have a deep conversation about how the world was created, I'm down for it. But if you want to talk about what happened in fashion this week, I'm not your, no one's calling me for that. They know. But I do think but that's also how I'm able to keep deep, long relationships with very infrequent communication, is because when I do make the time, when I do have the opportunity, it's like, we're going deep. We're not talking about the weather. We're talking about life's biggest struggles, what's happening with your kids, what's happening in your marriage. We're going deep fast. It's not a surface level wide conversation, but I also think it's like, that's how you build meaningful relationships that can stand the test of time when you don't live together and you don't live near each other and you don't talk every month. You might talk once a year. You can still have deep, meaningful relationships and only talk once a year. And it's because when you do talk, it's the important stuff.
Yeah. And again, I don't feel like the expert to add to this, but I want to share one quote for everybody that I heard, and it was a guest that I interviewed on our show. This is from Ryan Levesque. I'm not 100% sure this is true 100% of the time, but it has totally stuck with me. And I have wrestled with it because there's so much truth in it that I'm like, maybe it is always true. And one of the things that Ryan said, it was so simple. He said, the best things in life do not scale. The best things in life do not scale. And I'm like, there are some great things that scale, but like the best things in life, they really don't scale. And so you make the time to show up, to celebrate, commiserate, commemorate.
The 3 C's coming to a new book soon.
Yes, absolutely. The world is changing. It's changing fast. The world of marketing, the world of sales, the world of online, offline reputation. And this podcast is the place that you want to stay connected to if you want solid, steady, truth, data-driven, practical, faith-driven principles to help you navigate that change. So hit subscribe. Come back, stay tuned. We're going to be open and honest with you every single week. Share this with other people who want a solid foundation for how to navigate the changing world of personal branding and reputation and turning those reputations into revenue. Hit subscribe.